Hi, hello, happy Sabbath and Shabbat Shalom. As of this moment, I have rearranged some of the residencing. Right now, only Sam and Sally are in here. However, tomorrow, I'm going to put Daisy back in there for protective custody because she got all beat up. Now, this pen hasn't changed any. Pretty much the same wild bunch of hooligans as before. And in Mercury, Bismuth, Goldilocks, Snippy Snap, and Ginger. Over here, Gretel and Caroline. And then there's Candy. And then over there is Jill and Fluffy Puppy and Chestnut, who was in. But we've weaned her boy, Pecan. There's Daisy. There's a little bit of pecking order work there. See who's going to be the higher up the food chain there. Sometimes some of them will go at that for hours. Usually they only go for a little while. But anyhow, so yeah. And pretty sure that Chestnut's in heat. And so it's kind of why the boys are over there. That plus while the boys are always where the girls are if they can get there. A little bit of grass sprouting over here, seedling grass in a couple places. I'm very encouraged by that because hopefully I'll build out some, that'll actually help develop the soil and compost it. No real significant change over here on this project. As far as what it looks like, it looks the same. Basically, all I did is I got the bolts tightened up in there in some of the places. I've still got a few more to go. And so I got my tools out there getting trampled on and pooped on by the goats. But it's mostly out of the rain anyhow. And I got a light up there still in the plastic to make it where I can see when I'm working at night. You notice all the boys are eagerly coming over to wherever the girls are. They're not worried about what the girls are doing. They're just worried about getting to the girls anyhow. They're all pretty much all longingly looking to get in there. Oh well, what can you say? They are goats. They do what goats do. We've had some freezing weather lately, which is no surprise. It's coming on wintertime. As I kind of expected would happen, a lot of the Bermuda grass is now freezing out and going dormant. These, I hope, are lentils that I planted out here last spring that I wasn't getting any sign of, hopefully. And in here, see the Bermuda grass, actually is some of it still green, some of it's frozen dead. We'll see. I would love, like everything, to have a strain of Bermuda grass that was freeze resistant. But anyhow, hopefully lentils will be climbing up here pretty soon. Theoretically, they're all organic, non-GMO lentils. That's why Mom got them, it's because of that. Oddly enough, Rose of Sharon actually has a couple of green leaves on it still. Not for sure if they'll fall off in the next couple of days now that it's been freezing. Of course, the raspberries, like the blackberries, tend to not actually go dormant just because of the cold weather. Apparently the same is true for greenbriers, and of course it's true for apple trees, and it's also true. They do slow down. They don't necessarily go dormant. It's like that peach tree there still has a couple leaves. Again, it's been down in the 20s down here, so in theory it got plenty cold enough to have frozen them, but I've seen these things with blooms on them in freezing weather before, so they're a little more freeze resistant than I would have first thought. Even the lilies have hung on quite a bit for being freezing. I'm under the impression that in all likelihood the my brain went dead. The verbena here, which is all dark purple, may finally be coming to the end of its flowering for the year, but it may not. It may, because I do see some greener leaves in there on the verbena, so it may be just taking a break before flowering again. I've seen it flower late into December before, so it wouldn't surprise me if it did that again. There's an elm tree that apparently survived being frozen, although it won't survive me cutting it out next year, because I'm not going to have trees growing up beside my building. This one will probably have to go eventually, but until it does, it's just skating by at the moment. Now, over here, let me come in here and I've got a screw in a bag that I want to put in here so that I don't have too many things in my hands. That piece of scrap, this used to be a gazebo, as people might recognize. I had thought for a long time that those things were riveted, but I got a good look at it, and this thing is actually screwed together with little nuts and bolts. So I'm going to strip it for all those. I may or may not do anything with the steel tube, like a radiator or something, but I will definitely get the screws out of it, the nuts and bolts out of it, because, well, hey, they're free, they're there. There are several of the same size, a good count of them. So, you know, it's worth it to me to put them in place. Alright, so over here we've got Pecan in with the other boys now. And even though he's a month or two, not exactly for sure how much younger he is than they are, he's pretty much the same size as they are. And for anybody who can't find Pecan in the crowd, he's the only one with horns. So Pecan's got horns. I guess Jumpy Jeff's got horns too, but he's got no ears because he's La Mancha mix. Silver's got no ears, but he's the same color as Pecan. And then Papa Bear, of course, got ears. So, you know, they're not too hard to tell apart. They still haven't demolished my welded feeder box yet. Give them time, they'll try to. The little box there, sometimes they'll all go in there, sometimes it'll only be one. Lately it's only been Pecan of all things. Papa Bear. Papa Bear. I think I see signs of blood, which means they've been really fighting out here. Because what they do is they beat each other's horns until they, or skurs until they bleed. Yes. Yeah, I think I see some blood on Silver's head. Here's our babies. Shiny Silver. Yes. Jumpy Jeff. Jumpy Jeff. Shiny Silver. Yes, a Shiny Silver. He's the boss man, huh? How you doing? Yes, how you doing? Yes. Shiny Silver. How you doing? Squitchy, squitchy. Here's a squitchy, squitchy. Here's a squitchy, squitchy. Yes. Yes. How you doing? Here's a Shiny Silver. Yes. And a Pecan. And a Jumpy Jeff. Here's a Jumpy Jeff. How you doing? Yes. How you doing? It's like, I don't know what that thing is. It's not that attractive to me. Here's a Shiny Silver. Yes. Yes. Get off my butt. Yes. 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 Prancing around like a real champion there. Pecan. Here's that Pecan. Pecan's a little shy and timid. So is Jumpy Jeff, though. But they pretty much think they're in already. So, you know, it happens. Really not much else to remark on. We replaced the battery on Pony this week. It decided after some cold weather that it didn't want to start. So, we went and got a new battery. That battery was at least 6 years old anyhow, so it pretty much had kind of gotten to the end of its natural lifespan. I put that celery in the greenhouse partway. We're not for sure where we're going to put it, in the front or leave it where it's at. Interestingly, Mom likes it where it's at. I've used a couple leaves of it now for cooking. Makes a really nice spice, you know, just natural celery leaf. And I just mince it up real good, cook it into sauces and stuff. It's good for soup and spaghetti sauce and things like that. You've heard of celery salt, undoubtedly. Well, this is the celery part, and the salt comes in a separate package. But hopefully, what we're thinking about, Mom and I are thinking that since it's got multiple upshoots, it's trying to divide it into multiple pots so we can propagate it by division like you can several other types of plants. And we're also looking at possibly putting some fruit trees out here this spring. And if we are we gotta hurry up and pick some and get them in now. The only thing that worries me is I really need to get that gazebo out of there, because I need to turn that into my composting area. And when I do that, all those cement blocks will come back in there to be a wall to put the compost into. And I'll need that gazebo out of there. And I need all that done before I go and plant trees, so I don't drive over the trees with my track loader. So I'll be using the track loader for most of that work. And it'll chew everything up. So I gotta take care of that before I proceed forth with planting any trees. So I've gotta get my loader running here pretty soon. Next Wednesday I go to pick up the alternator. They said they've got it where it's charging 24 volts. So in theory, all I have to do now is finish the pulley, and it'll be good to go. And from there, it'll be just one of them deals that once it's ready to roll there, I'll probably won't be too long, I'll have to get in there and fix that hydraulic leak, because it just pours hydraulic oil out so bad. I'm hoping now that we've changed presidents and there's going to be hopefully some good oil drilling going on, that the price of fuel goes down. And if the price of fuel goes down, then it will be more affordable to, sorry to be aiming that right in the sun. Anyhow, oil in general. But even with it being more affordable, I still need the thing to not leak all over the place. But you see all that dark stain under there? That's the hydraulic oil leaking out of this tank through this cylinder right here and just dribbling all over the ground, because the seal here is blown right there. Right exactly there. I don't know if it's, yeah, there it is. See that little bump? That's the wiper there is blown out. So it blows hydraulic fluid out of there. And so I need to replace that. And then hopefully that'll carry it through for a long time before I have to do any other hydraulic hose replacement. I've replaced these two, and then I've replaced the big one underneath. But I've got 6 more small ones to replace. And I've got the dashboard off of here again because I had to get in there and get that voltage regulator out of there. Well, now I got the voltage regulator out of there. I don't know if the next thing is going to be internally regulated or what. I won't know until I get over there and find out what they came up with for me. I wouldn't mind it going back to being the original voltage regulator. It worked. But if they come up with something else that works, that'll be fine too. All I care is that it works. Literally, that's all I care. If it works, however it works, then I'm happy. If it doesn't work, well, clearly I can't be too happy about that. So we shall see what we shall see. I've been stacking up all these bags over here. This batch has been getting rained on. And I need to put it over there. I just haven't yet. I'll try to get around to that before the next rain. I'm starting to get enough. I could just about build a building out of them if I glued them all together. But right at the moment, they're just still piling up while I figure out what all I'm going to do with them. A lot of them will end up being used for gardening. It's probably not super evident from here what's been going on downstairs. It probably looks just about like it did last time. That little ash pile. Wow, it focused. Cool. Anyhow, I've burned up a lot of the old rotten wood around here to get rid of that dead goat body. Sad we lost him, but once we lost him, we had to get rid of the body so the predators and stuff doesn't come along. And from there, we shall see what we shall see. I still got so much to do. I never did see any pinto beans come up out of the pinto beans that were supposedly organically raised. They may not have been able to germinate. They may not have been viable. Oh well. I can literally get pinto beans at the store all the time that are actually viable. So that's not a big deal. But we shall see. Maybe they'll come up in the spring. They'll have had a whole winter to soak and settle. And we'll find out. So that's pretty much everything around here. I replaced the filter today in the basement, water filter. I'm going to have to get myself either some more water filter. By the way, that right there, I'm hoping is those lentils. They look just like vetch, and apparently you give them the same inoculation as vetch. So hopefully they have a bigger seed and easier to harvest and easier to eat. We shall see what we shall see. That's basically everything at the moment up to the date. So, and no, I didn't pick my grapes yet. I may lose the rest of what's out there before I ever get around to picking them. It'll be my fault, of course. And the gentian definitely has a bud, so hopefully it'll be back this spring. And other than that, I'll see y'all next Sabbath. Bye for now.